Although the smart meter program arose in the provincial arena, I would like to ask City Council to take a stand to advocate for your city residents. On behalf of my whole family, I am here to support motion B6, requesting the City to ask BC Hydro to offer opt-out options for the smart meter program. The Clean Energy Act does not require that BC Hydro must have only wireless smart meters to fulfill the Act, so citizens' choice needs to be paramount. Section 4 of the motion refers to meters concentrated in banks such as apartment buildings, which create the potential for increased radio frequency transmissions. In our building, we have 76 meters, divided into 3 separate rooms spread across the premises. We don't yet have smart meters, and we want to keep it that way. There are many concerns. For example, one long-term tenant with a diagnosed wide-ranging environmental sensitivity lives less than 20 feet from a bank of 44 meters. Another tenant is worried because she is 5 feet from the 44 meters. My nephew has 17 meters on the other side of his apartment wall where he sleeps. My mother has diagnosed chronic illnesses, including heart arrhythmia, and has 17 meters near her bedroom. Her family doctor has written a certificate stating that she should not have a wireless smart meter in or near her apartment as it may aggravate her medical condition. This letter has been forwarded on to CST for the human rights legal action taking place around smart meters. My mother is a physician of long experience. She has high regard for Dr. Perry Kendall, our provincial health officer, but respectfully disagrees with his current assessment that smart meters are not sufficiently harmful to justify public health intervention. Notably, he himself, as reported by CBC, recently did say that there is a biological effect and more research should be done. Whether one shares these kinds of concerns, citizens should have the right to choose what kind of health risks they are subjected to. Opt-out options would also help prevent some of the harassment from BC Hydro around residents asking for example, a delay of installation. Hydro said they would respect such requests. That is not the case with my mother and numerous other people that anecdotally from our property management company, the media, friends, and so on, I am aware of. My mother notified Hydro in January 2012 that she wanted smart meter installation delayed while current legal challenges to the program continued. We have received very heavy pressure from Hydro. The on-site caretaker and the property management company, Vancouver Management Limited, have provided written documentation of intimidation voiced to them by BC Hydro, including threats to turn off the power in the building and to come with the Vancouver police to force entry and break down the door, in fact, if we didn't immediately do what Hydro wanted. My mother then engaged a constitutional lawyer, Sean Buckley, who advised her that BC Hydro's behavior was unacceptable. Mr. Buckley will be acting for our family if necessary because my mother can afford a lawyer. Many people can't afford one. What will they do? Let's end the bullying. Please support an opt-out. A moratorium would be even better, but let's start somewhere. California resisted opt-outs for a long time, but they were taken to the final level of courts, and ultimately they had to give an opt-out. I would like to see that here. We need an opt-out. Thank you.
Now, we have a problem, public health. It's a public health crisis, not only at the individual level of impact on individuals, but also the healthcare system, which is under stress anyway. And I predict, I hope I'm wrong, but I predict that the healthcare system will be overloaded by people coming in quite sick. I'm symptomatic. Many people are. I've spoken to some who are much more affected than I am. I believe that the electromagnetic radiation in the form of cell phones, cordless phones, Wi-Fi, other matters, and also smart meters are a Trojan horse. Do we allow the Trojan horse to come into our city? Cassandra, from legend, tried to warn people. Cassandra was ignored. A kook, a lunatic, perhaps, a person who is exaggerating. Cassandra was ignored. The Trojan horse came into the city, and we know what happened. Smart meters are a Trojan horse. Do not allow it in Vancouver. BC Hydro customers deserve to be protected. We deserve radiation monitoring, independent monitoring. We deserve regulations. Right now, I'm not sure of any regulations existing. We need regulations to protect people. I now call upon you to recognize as a health hazard. None of you can say, I didn't know, no one told me. None of you can say that now. You know, you've been told by me and others. I'm calling now for an immediate moratorium on any further installation of smart meters in the city of Vancouver. I request it at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Darling.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chair, and councillors, is that close enough? To me, it's a very bizarre thing that we're even debating this. I honestly can't believe it's not obvious. As anyone who's been following this issue knows already, there are an alarming number of health experts, scientists, medical doctors, and even electricians who have been speaking out that the involuntary exposure to pulsed microwave frequencies should be prohibited. One of these experts is Dr. David Carpenter. He's a Harvard Medical School-trained physician, former head of the New York Health Department, and dean of the School of Public Health at the University of Albany. Dr. Carpenter says, the question to ask is, what is the evidence that smart meters are safe and have no adverse health effects? The answer to that question is that there is no such evidence. In fact, while no one has actually done human health studies in relation to people living in homes with smart meters, we have evidence from a whole variety of other sources of radio frequency exposure that demonstrated convincingly and consistently that exposure to radio frequency radiation at elevated levels for long periods of time increases the risks of cancer, increases the damage to the nervous system, causes electrosensitivity, has adverse reproductive effects, and a variety of other effects on different organ systems. So there is no reason, no justification for the statement that smart meters have no adverse health effects. Those are compelling words from a very credible source. My husband and I live in a townhouse over on the North Shore, and they came last week to put in smart meters. There's over 60 units there. We were the only ones who managed to get in a non-consent form and post a sign and get a lock on our meter in time. So we now live amidst 60-plus meters, with our own one being the only one that's locked. Somebody said earlier that for every one person here, we represent maybe at least 1,000. I know from experience walking around, talking to my neighbors, people are concerned about this. They maybe don't understand all the nuts and bolts, and they maybe don't understand how to go about being heard on this issue. So thank you, Councillor Carr, for pushing this motion. But people are concerned, and and as someone else said, this is not going to go away. This is going to continue. And might I add, well, I think I absolutely support this motion. I too absolutely want to see a moratorium on this issue. This is a global trend. It's not just here. We're seeing it happen all over California. People are ticked off in Ontario. There's been over 8,000 reports there to one council person of people's bills actually tripling or more. Premier McGuinty has actually admitted to the Toronto Sun that this whole, what in their case is a $9 billion project, has not amounted in any energy conservation at all. So let's do the right thing.